California plans to lift nearly all its COVID restrictions on June 15th, although masks would still be required. Carter Evans talked with the state's embattled Governor Gavin Newsom, who's facing a recall fight over his handling of the crisis.
Looking back at your pandemic response, is there anything you would have done different?
I think everybody can look back because we're all not experts, we're geniuses in hindsight. The one word of the last year is humility. All of us, I think, humbled.
With California Governor Gavin Newsom facing a looming recall and harsh criticism over a pandemic response that included some of the most restrictive rules in the country, his job could now depend on how quickly his state recovers.
This economy is reopening, schools are back in business, and I think California is uniquely positioned to come roaring back.
California has been slower than other states in the nation to reopen schools and reopen businesses. What do you say to parents and business owners who feel like you let them down?
Well, 9,000 of our 11,000 schools have either reopened for in-person instruction or have set a date to reopen for in-person instruction.
But they've been out of school for more than a year now at this point. Other states have been back for months.
Yeah, so we put out a blueprint in December, $6.6 billion to address learning loss, and we're looking to extend the school year, extend the school day.
We also have the third highest unemployment rate in the nation right now.
Yeah, and it's continuing to drop significantly. And the reason our unemployment is stubbornly high is because the impact of the hospitality and leisure industry has been disproportionate. What will return and what is returning is the opportunity for these businesses to reopen.
Still, more than 2 million Californians have signed a petition to force a recall. County officials have until April 29th to determine if enough of those signatures are valid to trigger a special election.
It looks like you're going to face a recall election in a few months. I met some business owners who are supporting the recall effort against you because they feel like the decisions you made destroyed their livelihoods.
Yeah, we put $2.5 billion in small business grants. California is the first state to do a stay-at-home order. We have among the lowest death rates of the major states in the country. We think we're better positioned than most other states to come roaring back, and we're providing record amount of relief and support for small businesses.
Has the recall effort influenced your decisions in pandemic response?
Absolutely not. In fact, quite the contrary. We're just focused on the data, disease prevalence. I'm focused on what's actually happening on the ground.
Newsom also says that California met its goal of administering 4 million doses to people in the hardest hit zip codes.
When you look at Hispanics in California, they're roughly 40% of the population, roughly half of the COVID cases, half of the deaths, yet they're about 22% of the vaccination.
And that's why about 5 weeks ago, we announced that 40% of all the new first doses are going under this new equity metric. Look, at the end of the day, it's still stubborn. The equity metric continues to be a challenge. Good enough never is. There is no having made it.
Now, the governor says he expects 30 million doses to be administered by the end of this month, and that puts California on track to vaccinate almost everyone who's eligible. Now, the governor also talked about the increase in the number of migrants crossing the border and how California is preparing. If you want to head to CBS This Morning on Twitter, Instagram, or Facebook to hear more, that's where you find it.
All right, but
Tony?
meantime, please continue watching us. Carter, thank you very much.